Hello and welcome back to my Milestone project. This is Milestone 3 Users and Product Administration. So, what we had to do for this milestone was create a management interface to add, edit, and delete products, and to add, edit, and delete users. So this is my product management page for the managers. Uh, you want to go to this page first, select anywhere to go. So if you want to delete product, you click that, add, edit. Any of those links will work. So let's go delete product. And this is how it looks like. Product ID, product name. Right now, in the code, product ID and product name are being inputted into a SQL query. The query does where product ID and product name are equal to product ID is equal to product ID input and product name is equal to product name input. It will return and delete those rows associated with that. Right now I don't have anything in the database. I'm figuring out a bug right now. Still or is unable to um, post to the database, or something else is happening. If we go to add to product, I can show you what's the error. So let's see what autofills now. Movie, product name, entertainment, product description, watch, actors, play, and act. Okay, quantity, I want like 5 of those. So hit submit, I'm gonna get an error. Warning require once, failed to open stream. I've been looking up and there's not really. I tried their solutions, but I still am unable to get success with it passing this fatal error right here, fail open required. Um, Other than that, I coded everything as usual, required once. I believe it should be working, but somehow that error keeps on popping up. I'm not sure why. Other programs I'm not having separated by file. Maybe that's why. The file is probably causing some sort of error when I put things into like the model file or like the controller file, or maybe the view file. Like we're having some conflicts there, being able to read. So we can go back to the product management page, go to edit product. It's been the same as editing the product, but I just want the management to have all that they need to really just change the product. Um, I will have some logic in there to say, hey, they probably want to change the product ID without changing every single thing or inputting every single thing. So maybe have in the future search this product's ID number, and then it auto populates every field, and then we can just change the field to auto update it. Um, that's probably in the future additions. So that's the product management page, which managers can use. They have admin control to use this. I will have some type of logic later in the future for that. So if you go to add users, it's basically the same as products, like first name, last name, email address, username. So management probably know their username, email address, first name, and last name. They probably have access to that information, maybe not their username. So I probably can take that one out when deleting a user, but they probably will because most usernames are their email addresses like first part before the at symbol. So that's usually their username. So management can delete them from there. In the future, probably have a check and balance system where the HR team will probably need to grant permission so they can't delete a user that still works for the website. Um, what else? Delete user we just did. Add user. So this is where the admin, the management team will input all their information. HR might have access to this in some capability. Probably just on their basic information. So first name through zip, they probably can enter that for them. But admin, the management probably can set their username and password. Password, they probably set it like 12345. And then later on, when they first log in, I can probably have a if condition or like a count saying if it's the first time that the user logged in, ask them to change their password. Admin can make them either an administrator, so if they hire another manager on their team, or a user, so it's just a basic like employee or a shopper. I probably want to add like another number to that, so like if they're just shopping on the website, um, they can just easily set basic customers to have just a standard three probably. Other than that, that is it for the ad page. It has the same fatal error as it's not able to open stream. Um, Edit user, every single thing. Again with the product edit as well. Probably have something for the manager to search for specific probably username or either their email address and pull up every single one of those properties and they can it autofills and they can edit from there. Other than that, that is it for the web pages. I can go into the code. It's a little, I need to clean it up a little bit. I split it out into different pages most likely. So different classes. Let's go to the product curation. Let's see. Right here it's hard coded from last week because I didn't create a database from last week, but I got it this week. I'm still having issues with getting access to that with reading between my Eclipse and the map server that I'm using. I've been using Workbench to create them as well, and then sometimes I just use map GUI to help me out with some SQL statements. Just auto-generate them, copy paste, and then manipulate them as I want. So like with where conditions, stuff like that. The search from last week. So here is basically I'm having a call my database class, which is a connection to my map server, to that database specifically. Calling it here to make it a link, and then making that query statement right here, insert into where product names, like all the columns that I want to insert into. And I don't want to drag that over there. And then all of the user inputs right here. I'll show you where I call that later. It's like the success pages. So like testing if they actually hit the query right. So I put a try catch on that, make sure if it fails, it doesn't return blank, and just like the user is sitting there like is waiting for something to happen. Okay, so the update. So update is to edit, insert is to add, select is to search the database. So and I have a delete product here. So delete where product ID and product name equals the user inputs. That's basically the majority of it, like updates. So this will change. Update product set product ID. I think there needs to be a where clause here. Um, let's go where product name equals, and it has to be a user inputted device as well. So equals probably input right now. I tried to fix that, but I did find it. Probably a where clause will help it out because right now it's just saying update products, set all these. There's no where clause, like where product name equals that. So they're updating essentially nothing at that point. They're probably just inserting a different one. Probably copy paste error that I didn't find until now. Customer creation, I have a lot here because there's 3 different tables. The user has foreign keys on the IDs on the other table. So it has a foreign key for address ID and a foreign key for what can we call it, login ID. So that's separated out. I did add types to it, and all sorts of extra things I didn't have last week to it. And then here I call it right here, so all the user inputs. Um, but yeah, that's about it on that. The add user one, where is it at? Delete success. It's success page. I have it just as just one method function so far. Um, and I think that's about it for the rundown on the the program so far. I'm sorry the video went on a little longer than I wanted. I just wanted like a 5 to 10 minute video. So thank you for everything. And hopefully you had a good Mother's Day weekend. And talk to you later. And if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to reach me out either email or private forum. And thank you once again, and bye bye.